All Teslas are packed with so many amazing hidden features that no one really seems to know about or talk about, but also in addition to that, I feel like there are so many awesome, really cool standard features built into all Teslas that aren't necessarily secret or hidden features, but not a lot of owners know about them, not a lot of people are using them, and they're really cool and don't nearly get enough attention and really aren't getting the attention that they really deserve. So after driving Teslas every single day for over 3.5 years, let me show you some of the best features built into every single Tesla. I'm sure that a lot of people know that these exist. A lot of you guys, though, don't know all these features, and these are some of the best built-in features that really make these the best cars on the road. Let me show you how you can supercharge your Tesla experience right now. Let me show you some awesome ways to totally change your Tesla experience. Sit back and relax, because whether you're a new owner or a longtime Tesla owner, guarantee that there is something in here for everyone, and you might just learn something new. And a huge thanks to RECURRENT for sponsoring this video. They offer a totally free monthly battery report that gives you some incredible insight into some really useful data points on your EV's battery and tips on things you can do to keep it in tip-top shape, but more on that in a moment. Now, one of my favorite Tesla features that I feel like not a lot of owners actually utilize starts when you first get in or get out of your car, and that is with the easy entry profile. And essentially what this is going to do is, as the name suggests, it's a profile that makes it easy to enter and exit the vehicle. So you'll see here, because I have my profile set up here already with my phone, I'm going to get in. You can see that the seat is already very much pushed back. The steering wheel is all the way in, so sort of giving me as much room inside to easily enter the vehicle. And then once I'm in, I don't have the fancy Model X where the door manually closes or automatically closes with the brake, but if I put my foot on the brake, what it's going to do is automatically load my profile, and then is going to adjust the steering wheel and the mirrors and the seat as needed to go where I need to go. And this is a really nice thing. And the nice thing is, if I get in drive, I'm going to go drive, do my thing. When I exit drive, or when I park, I'm automatically going to go back into easy entry again, so I can step out, do my thing, and then it just makes it really, really simple. And what's nice here is that easy entry is super easy to set up, and you can sort of link it to different profiles. You can use it or not use it, but again, it just allows you to sort of manually set as much space as you'd like. So to set it up, all you're going to want to do is jump into your profiles here. And you can see here I have the different ones for this. I have Robert, and then I have easy entry turned on. Now, it used to be a little bit different. In the older Tesla models, I believe there was an easy entry profile already set. I believe for mine it was a little weird. I had to make one. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that, but basically I'll say this. You turn on easy entry. If a profile doesn't show up, you might have to create one, which is what I had to do. But once you have that set up, you can obviously, set the steering wheel where you want it. You can save those positions. You can jump in here to the driver profile settings and go to easy entry. I'm going to the wrong place here. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go to controls and the steering wheel, and that's where I can adjust things. For me, I like to have it all the way in. I can move it up or down if I wanted to as well, and basically just sort of save that just to make it as easy to enter and exit the vehicle as possible. And again, you can link these to individual settings. So if, let's say, my wife Brooke, if she doesn't want to, well, I'm going to load her profile, but if she wants to go in here and not use easy entry, she can just turn that off and not use it, and she just doesn't have a problem with it. For me, I do like to use it, so I have it on. And again, you can have it toggled on or off as needed, but it's a little thing there that is super nice. And again, just put your foot on the brake when you're ready to drive. And then again, when you get into park, put your foot on the brake, or I think it'll actually do it automatically. You can exit the vehicle and be good to go. Another one of my absolute favorite Tesla software features is Sentry mode. This is, by and large, one of the coolest features about the car that I get asked about all the time. Other automakers like Rivian are trying to build their own competing platforms that do the same thing. But essentially what Sentry mode is, it's sort of a combo. It's the alarm component of the car. So if I was to park the car, walk away, I'd have an alarm. But also it's going to use the cameras around the car to record different vantage points automatically and save them on a drive. So all Teslas do come with a drive tucked away in the glove box there. That's decent, though there are better options. I'll leave linked down on Amazon below that have more storage capacity and are just better than a thumb drive for recording and stuff like that. But Sentry mode is really cool. What it allows you to do is sort of have video recordings of your car in different instances, either as you're driving. Well, I guess that's the Dashcam system. There's also the Dashcam system, which is cool. It basically uses the same cameras, but then Sentry mode is sort of in the park state, and plenty of criminals have been caught and vandalisms have been stopped and a number of other things thanks to the power of Sentry mode. And you'd be surprised. Just go on YouTube, check out Wham Bam Tesla Cam. They've got some great clips of dash cam and Sentry mode saves and good stuff and bad stuff. But essentially all you want to do, if you haven't turned this on, definitely make sure you turn it on, is you can just turn it on there. And then what you can also do is come down to safety, and you want to make sure it's on. And the other thing I would want to make sure you have on is the view live cameras from the app. And I'll show that in a second. I'll come back to that, but turn that on. And then of course, here you go. Here's your Sentry mode stuff. Make sure you have it on. And essentially what you want to do is have it on as you sort of leave the car. And then when you get back, you might notice you might get a alert that something happened. You're going to want to jump into this little app icon right here, the little camera with the red dot. Tap on that. And then it is going to load the Sentry mode viewer, which is a little slow sometimes. I actually loaded, no, not too bad. But this is going to show you different things. If I jump up here to the hamburger menu, I can see all the recordings, and these are just the Sentry mode recordings here. If I can register a tap, and then this is the dash cam, the stuff as I drove. But if I go here to Sentry mode, I can see here, let's go to a random event here in Irvine. I can see what happened when my car was left unattended as I was in the store. And as you can see down here, I can not only scrub through about 10-ish minutes of recording, but I also can see that red dot is when the Sentry mode event occurred. So if I can kind of toggle there, you could see that woman left the car, and that's what toggled the sort of motion detection to kick in and automatically save this clip. What's also cool here is as this is happening in real time, I can see 4 different vantage points. So I can see the front of the car, I can see the back of the car, and I can see either side, the left or the right, all of this in real time, which is really, really cool to see. And then again, I can jump in here and then see all the other ones. I can jump here, and it's a little difficult. Sometimes you just don't know exactly what happened here. We can see somebody's right there trying to get a cart. So that's why that event occurred. And then I can go over here and see again. Looks like that might have tripped it in this car pulling in here. But it's cool that I can see all this stuff in real time. And what's also nice is I can just pop this drive out, put it on my computer. And if I want to see all the different clips as well, a little pro tip here I'll give you for those who don't know is that as well as Sentry mode, I talked about Dashcam. If you have that little viewer down there, that little app to open up the viewer, what you can do is while you're driving, if I'm in drive here, and something happens, I can tap that same icon, and that's going to save a dash cam clip. So if I'm driving, and the other day there was a ladder on the freeway, and I kind of swerved around, I wanted to make sure I didn't hit it, I want to go back and check later, I tapped that and I was good to go, and that's going to act as your save button while you drive. When you're in park though, that's going to count as the app to open up and view the stuff. That's very cool. So that's a little pro tip for you there. The other component to this, which I'll show you on screen, is the live viewing remotely. This is very cool. This allows you to remotely view your cameras from the Tesla app live from wherever you are in the world, as long as you have an internet connection, and most importantly, your car has an internet connection. I will say that this feature isn't always super reliable. It can be a little bit laggy at times, but it does work. Also allows you to honk the horn remotely as well, and doesn't cost you anything as long as you've got premium connectivity. You can do this, and you can do it right within the Tesla app. Very, very cool. Love the Sentry mode system, and it's one of the best parts of owning a Tesla by far. Now, before we continue, let's take a quick break because I want to tell you guys about one of the best ways to completely supercharge your Tesla experience by unlocking this whole new level of detail and insight into the health of your EV's battery, and really learn some really useful things here that'll sort of change the way you think about your battery and your range. And that is all made possible by this video's sponsor, RECURRENT. If you haven't heard of RECURRENT before, let me introduce you to this amazing company that is doing a lot of great things in the EV world, but particularly is making it super easy for EV owners and even potential EV owners to get easy access to the really important details about an electric vehicle's battery. They are offering this totally free monthly battery report that beautifully breaks down incredible insights into your Tesla's battery, or really any EV's battery, giving you insight into the health of the battery and range conditions and charging habits, and sort of comparing your vehicle against other similar vehicles vehicles in the Recurrent fleet. In fact, they just wrapped up a grant with the National Science Foundation to really hone in on their projections for Tesla ranges in different weather conditions, something I can actually show you guys in just a second. And Recurrent actually just overhauled their report with this beautiful new redesign that sort of adds this new module interface that looks really great. So let's take a look at this new redesign, take a look at my June report. First off here, we can see in the upper right-hand corner, my car's details under this My Car section. So I've got a 2022 Model Y long range. I can see it's located in Irvine. It's got less than 5,000 miles on the odometer. I can see my VIN, which I've obviously blurred here for privacy reasons. And I can update those last two pieces of info if needed, because they will obviously affect different parts of different parts of the report if they are inaccurate. Next, let's jump up here to the first module on the left and see my range. So my EPA expected range here, your EPA estimated range is 330. And right now I'm sitting just under that at 327 miles of range with my current battery health. Moving to the right here is another super cool module that'll actually estimate your range in 3 years. And as many EV owners are buying cars now and are looking to drive these cars for thousands of miles and want to keep these cars for years and years, they're concerned that the battery and range just aren't going to hold up. So this is really useful to check out. I can also see the average market value here of the Model Y is nearly $78,000 these days, which is crazy. You can actually see here on this graph, it's actually dipping a bit back in February, but it's just been going up since then. So good time to sell your car for sure if you're looking to make that move. This module here is going to show me how my range is doing compared to other similar vehicles in the Recurrent fleet. And actually what I can see here is that I'm doing pretty good. This next module here is super important because this is going to give you some really important insight into your charging habits. You can see there were a few times here that I slipped outside of that target zone, or I was right on the line there. And I definitely want to make sure my battery sort of is as minimized from degradation as possible. So I want to make sure I'm keeping it in that 30% to 80% zone. And these last two modules are super important here as well, showing me visually on a map how far I can go with my current range. And importantly here as well, how my range is affected by temperature. Now my ideal temp is a little skewed since it's been extremely hot here in Southern California as of late, but you can see here and get a really good idea of how your range might be affected by different swings in temperature. And Recurrent tells me that this expected range loss is a bit misleading today because of the way that Tesla is choosing to calculate and display range. But like I mentioned earlier, the Recurrent team just finished a grant with the National Science Foundation to study real-world range in Model 3s, and those results are going to be coming in the next few months to make this section much more accurate. So for my fellow Tesla owners out there, stay tuned for more on this module over the next few months. Again, check out Recurrent, check out all the amazing things they're doing and all their awesome services, and of course, this totally free monthly battery report at the link right down below in the description. Now, Tesla is not always known for listening to its customers, but when they do, some really nice things can happen. And one of a recent big features in a software update a few months ago was the ability to see blind spot cameras automatically on the screen, which I'll show you how to turn that on. But basically, the cars for a very long time have had these side cameras. These are used for obviously the main autopilot system. They're also used for Sentry mode as well. There's a back camera back there. There's a camera over there. And one of the things that people were asking for was, hey, other cars can do this. When I go to make a lane change in the right lane or the left lane, why not pop up that camera so I can, check my blind spot and make sure that everything's good? The mirrors are great, but this would be a little bit more convenient. So Tesla decided to add that, and it is a really nice feature to have inside of your car, and I'll show you how to turn it on. So it's in a little bit of a weird place. You want to go here into your settings, you want to go to autopilot, and then turn on the automatic blind spot camera, this toggle right here. And what this is going to do is when you turn the turn indicator left or right, it's going to pop up the corresponding camera. So if I go here to make a left turn, you'll see the camera pops up. I can see a nice shot of the left lane, or the left parking spot in this case. And then if I go right, I can see the right camera there as well. Really, really nice to have. Though there is some room for improvement. One of the biggest issues here is when you're driving, and let's say I'm driving here, I got my eyes on the road, I go to make a lane change. It's a little distracting to go all the way down here with my head to look at that camera. A lot of owners have suggested that Tesla should put it up here, which would make a lot of sense when you're driving because that's sort of more in your peripheral vision than down there. So again, I'll do that again. See, something up there would be great, but for whatever reason, they have it down here. So I'm not sure if it's a UI thing. Obviously, your speedometer is there, but they could sort of temporarily move that. Not sure whatever the case is, but that is really nice to have. You can turn it on. Not great in sort of that side there, but it's there. And also for those who don't know, this is just sort of a fun thing. You can actually have the cameras inside of the Tesla pulled up as you're driving all the time. So if you jump down here to the dock, go here, and it's a little confusing. This is the Sentry mode icon. This is the camera icon, and you can have this open while you drive. You can either have it in this 3-box view, or you can slide this down and just have a bigger version of the back camera, but this can stay up as you drive. So if you want to drive around and sort of have these cameras up, you can do it that way, or you can just use the blind spot cameras if you want to use that as well, or you can turn it off if you don't like it. But it's a little thing here, a nice little feature that is now in as a standard part of the system that more people need to know about and turned on. Now, this would not be a best Tesla features video if I didn't mention one of the biggest crowd favorites, one that everybody loves, and that is the built-in Tesla theater. Yes, if you go down here and we're gonna go to theater, there's a lot of different options in here for watching stuff. So obviously, if you didn't know, inside of your car, you can watch Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, even Tesla tutorials. They'll tell you my videos are better than these. Shameless plug. There's also the arcade section here if you want to play some games. You can also connect a wired or wireless controller to play some games in here as well. And there's also the toy box, which has a lot of fun stuff in here, like custom color for your car. There's the light show, the boom box, the fart machine mode, which I'll give you a little tutorial of that. Let's just turn fart on demand. We'll do a different things here. Let's see. Oh, we're playing the radio. Anyways, you can do the fart mode. You can do stuff like that. There's Sketchpad in here, which I want to draw. Lots of really cool, fun apps right inside of the Tesla. So if you didn't know, there's lots of cool stuff in here. But everybody loves Tesla Theater, and basically what this is going to do is allow you to have like this full screen experience, so you can sort of sit back, relax, and enjoy different things out of your car. Not always the most responsive UI ever, but everyone, of course, loves to enjoy sort of the nice sound system, and the nice screen is really nice here. And to exit it, sometimes a little tricky to figure out how do you exit, and I'm struggling with that too. How do you exit? Usually if you tap near the top, there we go, a little exit button there, and we get volume there. Sorry about that. Another pro tip, just since we're on the topic of theater, just because I always got to show this in my videos because everybody loves it, is a better Tesla theater. If you open up the browser and we just go to a betterteslatheater.com, this is basically like Tesla Theater on steroids. It's going to allow you to watch Crave, HBO Max, YouTube TV, Plex, full screen sites, all like the Tesla Theater, but it's not the Tesla Theater. It's sort of the third party. And all you got to do to launch it is the little go full screen button. It's going to redirect you to a full screen experience. And what's so cool about this is that you can, have that same full screen Tesla experience with different apps. And the Tesla Theater is great, but it doesn't have as many options as this. So I always talk about this, and people are always impressed every time. A better Tesla Theater linked down below, and you can watch way more content on here. And it's free too. Just got to create a free account to unlock this stuff. A really nice way to watch a lot of really cool content right inside of your car. All right, so this next one I'd call a little controversial, but it's not so much controversial. It just needs a little work, but it is nice to have, and that is the browser. So if you jump in here to your app drawer here, there is an option here for a browser, which this is sort of a weird icon for a browser. I get what they're going for with the sort of looks like a Google homepage, but still sort of looks weird. You can, if you wanted to, load up a full-on browser inside of your Tesla, and they've got different, this is the start page here. If I wanted to go to google.com, I could type that in, and the browser is nice to have. I've done like mobile restaurant ordering on here. I've pulled up different menus for takeout. You can see the food theme here, which is one of the reasons that it's nice to have the browser inside of the Tesla. Just some different things you can do. The only issue with the browser is that it is a little slow depending on the site you load. So sometimes it'll work okay, other times not so much. So let's say we want to go to, I don't know, let's say macrumors.com. So macrumors, we can do this. And you can sort of get a little live look. It's not too bad. Sometimes it's definitely better than others. The LT connection built into the car isn't always the best. And depending on the site, it's either going to be really good or really bad. So as you can see, I mean, this is definitely good enough for like reading text. You can see it's a little slow to load some of these images and a little lag, a little delay here. But it is nice to have. I know a lot of people don't realize a browser is there, but it is a pretty decent full-fledged browser. Elon has commented recently that they are looking to improve the browser and overhaul it, which it definitely, again, needs because it's a little slow. But if you didn't know, there's a full-on browser right inside of your Tesla. And if you didn't know as well, you can actually use this browser to run things like CarPlay. I've got a couple of videos on how to get CarPlay inside of your Tesla working through the magic of the browser. I'll leave that linked up here and down below if you want to check it out. But cool to have a full-on browser right inside of your car. Now, I know the built-in streaming options inside of Tesla certainly aren't perfect, but there are some nice things that you can do with the streaming services available. And also, for those who don't know, there are quite a bit of options in here, even though you're not having all of them. So you don't have Apple Music, you don't have YouTube Music, you don't have Pandora, no Sirius XM, that's a big one in the Model 3 and Model Y, no AM support either, though there is HD radio, which is a nice alternative. But for those who don't know, there are a number of options in here for streaming. So if I jump in here, and I hold this down to see all my options, I can see, well, I have some shortcuts here, but I've also obviously got TuneIn, I've got streaming, I've got Tidal, and of course I've got Spotify, which is already down there, then as well as Bluetooth. So let me kind of show you the different ones here. So obviously Spotify, as the name suggests, you can see here, this is my Spotify profile. As you can see, can you tell I have a newborn baby or a 6-month-old baby now with some of the lists here? But I've got that going, and Spotify will obviously pull in all the stuff from your Spotify. You can get playlists, you can do recently played, you can do playlists and songs. All that stuff is going to work here really well. A couple of caveats. One is that you have to have a premium Spotify subscription in order to use this, so you have to have a paid plan. It doesn't come free with the car, nor is it included with any kind of promo or anything, so you kind of are out of luck if you don't have a paid Spotify account. So that is a caveat there. And also the streaming audio fidelity, many have commented, is not as good as other options. I find TuneIn in particular, the streaming option, a better suit or better quality rather than what you would find with Spotify. So just a note on that, but Spotify is there and it works. Bluetooth is, as the name suggests, would allow you to stream higher fidelity audio over Bluetooth as well. You also have the ability to plug in via a USB drive. So there is, I'm not going to show, well, it's a mess down there. Excuse the mess down here, but there is a USB port down there. You could plug in if you wanted to do music off of a flash drive or an SD card with an adapter or something like that. You could do local music that way, which a lot of people do. You've obviously got your FM, which I'm going to turn down here. As you can see, there's also HD radio, like I mentioned, but it's a little wishy-washy sometimes. There's also the streaming option, which this is actually pretty good. So there used to be a number of things. There was Stitcher, there was TuneIn. It's a little confusing now, but the streaming option comes with the car and does have a lot of good options in there. So there's sort of the top stations, there's the DJ series, there's the different genres, there's the account info. Basically, again, this comes with the car, so there's not a lot of, logging in or anything you have to do, but there are some good playlists that get updated semi-regularly. If you want to jump in a podcast, or there's different genres you can jump into. So let's say I wanted to listen to, rock, there's different playlists and stuff. There's some decent stuff in here, and it does sound fairly good, so I would definitely look at the streaming option if you haven't already. There's also TuneIn, which has a lot of different, as you can see, sort of cable news or, different streaming options for stations, so CNN, MSNBC. I've got different regional stations around here that I think there's KLAA, some different things that are featured stations, stuff like that. So this is more sort of radio than it is music. That's where the streaming option is. And then there's also Tidal, which I'm not logged into at the moment since I don't have a Tidal account, but you can go through Tidal this way. And a lot of people have commented that the Tidal audio fidelity is usually better. You also have the option to, I think, download some tracks or stream them over Wi-Fi and even better fidelity. So definitely check Tidal if you want to do that as well. Again, that like Spotify will require a paid account, but there are a number of options on here. Obviously, it'd be nice if we had more, but for those who don't know, lots of streaming options built in to stream your music inside of your Tesla. Again, this streaming tab here for free, which is included with the car, as long as you've got, obviously, a data plan, is going to work really, really well. So nice feature inside of Tesla. Lots of ways to stream some music and different content right inside of your car. So I'm curious, guys, what are your favorite features built into all Teslas? Maybe it's a secret feature or a hidden feature. I've done plenty of those videos in the past, but even just sort of examining the stuff we use every day that maybe we take for granted, what is one of your favorite features? Is it the built-in streaming options? Is it easy entry? Is it something to do with Sentry mode? Let me know your favorite feature down below, and if you have some suggestions to give to new owners, what would that be? What would be one feature or one setting you would change immediately to get a better Tesla experience? What would you recommend to a new owner to play around with to get the full experience and to learn more about the car? Let me know your favorite features down below. We can discuss. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you all in the next one.